We always
have fun with this guy.
He's really cool. You know what he does well? When you bring in guests, he makes it about us. You know, we can talk all day about Donald Trump, and we can talk all day about Nancy Pelosi and Bill Barr and blah, blah, blah. But he's smart. Good hosts do that. They make it about the guest. So here he is. All those nice things just said and all true. Our friend Brian Kilmeade. Good morning, Brian.
What's up, Bernie? How's it going on this Friday? Do you already have weekend plans mapped out? Are you looking past the show, or are you very in the moment, making sure your Friday show lives up to the...
No, we've moved past the show.
We have. Did your cell phone fall into the Rio Grande River, Brian, or something? It's cutting out.
Oh, is it really cutting out?
Yeah,
a little bit. But so you're down in Texas. What are you doing down there?
We are now. I was able to sit one-on-one with General Petraeus for an hour.
Wow! Whoa!
For a great cause, the Johnny Mac Fund. It's for Gold Star families, and. Mike Pompeo's class at West Point, along with Steve Cannon, president of the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, cool.
They asked me to sit down and talk to him for an hour. I'm going to bring the whole thing, most of it anyway, to the radio show today. I did some wraparounds with Fox and Friends from Houston. And we got a great affiliate here, KSEV, in Houston, so they're kind enough to make a sign and welcome us to this great studio. And then after that, I'm going to the border. And we're going to go up on a Black Hawk and then sit one-on-one with the Director of Homeland Security and the Secretary of Defense together to talk about how they're combining to build a wall and hopefully shut down this leaky border we have.
Wow, that is quite a day, Brian Kilmeade. Quite a day.
You are one hell of a player. By the way, they're no longer calling this thing at the border a manufactured crisis. The opposition, it really is a bust-out disaster.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, but here's the sin of it, Bernie. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
The Democrats don't even to put pen to paper. We're not asking for money. I mean, yeah, there's money that's got to be involved, but they just got to change a couple of laws, turn off the magnet. I mean, they're picking up children because children can always say, you get you across, and after 20 days, you got to let them go. So they're actually rotating 10 and 12-year-olds and 8-year-olds, saying you get in with one family. Then they send a kid back to Ecuador or Guatemala. They get another family and walk across again. You see what's going on here? Because of our rules, families get to stay, and they come back for a court date that's going to take 3 years to get them in front of a judge. So these people living in oppressive conditions, and I feel terrible, are beating our immigration system, jumping ahead of everywhere, the Dominican or Sudan or Norway. They're doing it the right way. Right. And these people are crossing the border the wrong way and getting in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. Now, look, I know one of the things you've been talking about quite a bit the last couple of days, Brian, on TV, and specifically your radio show has been this Bill Barr stuff, Congress trying to hold him in contempt. We think it's ridiculous. I know you do, too. Where are we with that?
Where are we with that? He was kind of laughing it off yesterday. He said, I set a record while Rod Rosenstein retires, I guess, or stepping out. He mocked it. He said, look, didn't I set a record in terms of getting contempt charges in under 100 days? They all laughed. I mean, this is a joke. Don Jr., Republicans asking Don Jr. to come in when Robert Mueller exonerated him? Are you kidding? And now we're going to see this. Do you realize the Mueller report has actually made this worse?
Yeah, apparently. It seems that way. No, at this point, again, as I mentioned, I'm quoting Bill Maher, and he said it was right on point. At this point, it looks like they're stalking the President of the United States. That's what it comes off to the public. Public doesn't care about this stuff anymore.
Well, listen, do you know what's going on? And I know you guys do, and you got to keep it New York is the center of everything. But, I mean, you have North Korea shooting off rockets. That's a crisis. You have Iran putting pressure on them like they've never experienced before. They have terror threats on us. USS Abraham Lincoln is now actually in the Suez Canal. So we're over there in major forces. And China today, with a delegation in round 12, is about to be served with huge tariffs. We don't know how that's going to respond. The market's going to drop. That's what the president has on his plate. He doesn't want to be talking about a Trump Tower meeting they didn't know anything about in 2016. And I think if you do a poll, and you guys are always talking to people on the streets, most of the time asking for directions, if you ask people, they don't care.
They don't care.
They've moved on. 57% of the country says, enough with the investigations. That's Democrats and Republicans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, George does a very good job today of detailing all the things you just talked about, Brian, all these really major things going on around the world that he has to deal with, talking about President Trump. Now, listen, you're a big sports fan, Brian. You know that the Boston Red Sox went to the White House yesterday. Most of them, the manager, Alex Cora, did not go because he thinks the president has done a terrible job in aiding Puerto Rico after Maria. But as far as we know, they got $91 billion, which is a lot more money than just about any other place or region that was struck by a hurricane. So what exactly is the manager of the Red Sox so upset about?
Well, number one, Alex Cora used his time as a world champion to hit the Yankees, which is absolutely bizarre. I don't like his swagger. Maybe I'd like it if I lived there. But the whole thing with Puerto Rico, the first thing he's got to get mad at is his inept, corrupt politicians that have abused those great people for the last 30, 40 years. Number two is the president's rhetoric's been very tough. He's like, I'm tired of giving money to these people. They're wasting it. I'd rather give it to Houston. They sat there and they lined up their own civilian boats and they bailed themselves out. I went to Panama City and I saw how those people took responsibility after a natural disaster. And I want to help out people here. And when we go to Puerto Rico, they were taking our money and not utilizing the aid, and it ticked the president off. Now, normal politicians would let that be a story according to unnamed sources. Our president tells whoever's listening that's exactly how he feels. That's what's different about this president.
Yeah, the corruption and all the infrastructure, that stuff was already in bad shape before the hurricane struck. And then when it struck, it compounded it. And that's what you have now. That's stalling the rebuilding of Puerto Rico. And the money is there. The money's there. They can't spend it. Brian, I know you got to go. But listen, tell me this.
That's the business. Thanks so much.
You do fly first class, do you? Do you not?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's all.
Of course he did.
Show today. It's going to be a huge show.
All right, we will. We'll tune in, of course, right after Bernie and Sid every morning right here on 77 WABC. You heard what a show he's got coming up at 10 a.m. this morning. Our good buddy from Fox News and Fox News Radio, Brian Kilmeade.